Good morning, everyone. I'm outside on the front porch enjoying this morning sun, getting my vitamin D. I'm enjoying my coffee. Um, we're coming to the end of summer here in Kansas City, Missouri. So, you know, feels pretty nice out here. Like to take advantage from time to time when the bugs are not trying to bite me. So, today I want to talk about what I would call like a puzzle piece. Don't be a puzzle piece. Before I get into that, let me just say I want to announce that Harris 2 will be releasing very soon. It's up next. Then following that will be Loyal Snakes. I want to apologize to any of my fans for the wait on Loyal Snakes 2. That book kind of went through a few little complications with the re-editing and things like that. And plus it's like a bigger book. So, juggling between work and trying to create books and things like that can be a little challenging at times. But it's going to be okay. But you'll see it really soon also. So, puzzle piece. So, when I was growing up, it was like I was always that person that was like on the outside looking in. I just never seemed to fit in with anybody's scenario, like nobody's situation. Like I was a tomboy, so I wasn't with the pretty girls. I wasn't a pretty girl, so the boys, they didn't like me, like that. And then I had a lot of adult situations going on at home, situations that I had to be more mature and deal with, like with dealing with, biological mom being on drugs, and having to help my grandparents take care of my brothers and sisters. On top of that, just I wasn't the one that wore the name brand shoes. I didn't have the long hair, things like that. I was, it wasn't like really, all that. I wasn't all dolled up. So, I was a kid that was, a victim of being teased. I wouldn't say quite bullied because I definitely was a fighter in school. I mostly fought boys. For some reason, I didn't want to fight girls because I knew that I would probably, beat up most girls that I would fight. So I really targeted the boys. But I wasn't actually bullied, but I was teased. And my reaction to being teased was not to fight, it was just like it really actually impacted me and hurt me to hear the words. Like, you would actually have to physically try and approach me to get me to fight. But words, when they were teasing me, it didn't make me fight. It just made me just hurt and want to fit in more. So that's where I want to talk about being a puzzle piece. So we all are a puzzle piece, and we all belong in something or somewhere. Puzzle piece with the people we're around, even with our family, with our talent and dreams and things like that. Like, we belong somewhere. And I think like we try, as we grow up, we're trying to figure out like, where do we fit in at? Where do our piece fit in on the puzzle board? And so we find ourselves trying to place ourselves in places that we don't belong. And that's where we need to be more aware, is to be able to know sooner than later when we're trying to place our puzzle piece somewhere where it does not belong. Now, some experiences are more obvious, especially when it comes to like strangers or going to a specific place. Like if you go to the club and you don't feel comfortable around the crowd, then like, I'm about to go. I don't feel comfortable here. I ain't a puzzle piece. That's something more simple. But when it comes to like the lines of like family, that's where it kind of gets more complex, because naturally the family we are born into is our family. We cannot change that at all. And so we also deny that we may not fit in with a lot of our family members. We may not fit. So we some of us force ourselves into things, and we just kind of roll with the bumps of things and conform because they're our family, so we don't have a choice. So that's where everything gets mixed up. Love, loyalty, all that gets mixed up, and then you don't really get a chance to really gain self-awareness, because you feel like you're obligated to fit your puzzle piece in this, with everybody. So my experience, because I can really only speak from my experience, is that honestly, I've always felt like I didn't belong when I was with at the beginning, with my biological family. Like, I was always, really doing a lot of things by myself and just being responsible for my brothers and sisters. So I spent a lot of time by myself. I just really couldn't relate to anything that was going on around me. I was very shy, just kind of just really not comfortable. It was very rarely that like one, maybe two family members could like really just be like, I would have that comfortability, be real comfortable with, like my Aunt Kay. She was somebody that I was really comfortable around. My Aunt Cleo, oh my God, yes. Comfortable around her. My Uncle Gary, very comfortable. Just people that it wasn't a lot of people, but it was just like a splash of people at times. And some people were seasonal. Like, sometimes, like, I could be like my Uncle Floyd, for example. Like, me and my Uncle Floyd, like, I was very comfortable. But then as I got older and, excuse me, these wasps or insects want to bother me. I wish they would go somewhere. When I got older and got adopted, he was upset, with my adoptive mom, and I was defending her, side of everything, and he really took that really personal, so it kind of interrupted our relationship, and that really hurt, because I don't think we ever really I think he really held that, against me until he died. So, with that being said, back to what I was talking about. So, I just, with me, it's like I can't go into everything. I'm an introvert. I can't just be, I don't really like to be around a lot of people all the time. It's really draining. High energy sometimes can be really overwhelming for me. Very loud things. So I just really like it quiet. I like to have like a lot of real conversations. I never really got the opportunity to be a playful type person, because everything for me was always serious. So, that was how my life was at the beginning. Like, everything was serious. I had to always think, I had real shit to do, from 5 all the way until like at least 11 years old, as far as like before I went into foster care. Then when I went into foster care, like, things were just, different. Like, I still had to be aware, because when we got into foster care, I was completely separated from my younger siblings, because it's 6 of us total. During that time when the foster care was 5 of us. I'm the oldest, of course, and I was completely separated, because honestly, in the foster care system, the older you are, the harder it is for placement. So I ended up in a girls' home. So I had to fend for myself and just kind of get to know the lay of the land. And once again, I was still faced with a lot of challenges. Like, I already had low self-esteem. My hair, it wasn't right. I was dealing with my complexion, because I was always, and that's a whole nother subject that I'm gonna talk about some other time, as far as like colorism. Like, I had that complex about my dark skin, and there were people around me that I held dear to me that used to hold that against me. So anyway, I had that complex, so I had low self-esteem. Hair wasn't right. Then I'm in foster care. Everybody knows I live in the girls' home on the block and everything. So once again, I go to the school that I've been going to since kindergarten, and now, not only am I being teased because of my appearance, because, I'm the tomboy or whatever, but also just being teased, because now I'm a foster kid, because for some reason foster kids are aliens. they make you feel like you're a alien. They refer to you as them kids. Like, you're just so different from a regular damn kid. Like, you wasn't born from a woman and you had a mom and a dad and shit like that. But, that's just, how the world is just so sometimes real critical on just shit and don't even really think first before they speak, or. So, puzzle piece. So like I said, still couldn't fit in because, I'm like, shit, I can't fit in with nothing. I'm not loud. I'm not the pretty girl. You know what I'm saying? I don't have all these things. I live in my mind most of the time, and that's just what it is. So, it was just really hard for me to adjust to a lot of things. So, family-wise, last time I felt real comfortable with my biological family was when I was like 5 and 6. I only had certain family members, that I really it was always consistent comfort with, even up to this day, with the exception of, the couple of broken, relationships that, were complicated because of the situations with my, with my adoptive mom versus my adoptive family versus my biological family. So then when I get in the foster care, I'm in the girls' home, and then I'm able to move into a foster home with my siblings, and we all were able to get together again, and that was like a blessing that we were all able to go into one home together. Like, you don't find a lot of foster parents. So shout out to Sharon James, my adoptive mom, rest in peace. She took all of us in. She didn't believe in separating siblings from each other, so we were able to all be together. So I go to her. It's a completely different environment because they're more outgoing, it's more extrovert, things going on. It's more, now it's like, I can fit in, but I don't know how to fit in. I'm no longer the little dusty, dirty, bald-headed girl. I'm living with Patsy now. We got a clean house. She's buying me clothes and stuff like that. I'm able to, my hair is looking decent. I got a big sister. My confidence is, boosting because she was chocolate too. So she helped me understand that chocolate was important and all that. So, I was like, this is a shit. But even though I got that, I was still, my mind had been conditioned to being introverted. I wasn't used to being social. I was always used to everybody being against me and stuff. So it was like hard for me, and it's still hard for me to this day to really just adjust. But also, like, I didn't feel like I belonged to my biological family. I didn't feel like I really belonged to a lot of my adopted family. And once again, I was faced with that. You had like a couple family members that you kind of vibed with, but then most of them, you was kind of like, why? I don't understand this. Well, this went on for like years, like from the time I got in the foster, from the time I was 12, now I'm 42. So my breaking point was like during the pandemic. I just started asking God, like, why is it so hard to just be comfortable? I'm only around family members all the time. Why am I not comfortable? And so being by myself and stuff, I started getting more in tune with myself and stopped looking at myself like something's wrong with me, and started like embracing myself and getting to know things about myself. So I just really learned that I was just very different. It was like I'm just more like a creative, like humble person, if that makes sense, going together. That's me. So I just kind of want to do, I like to just chill. I was raised by older people, so sitting on the front porch enjoying a cool drink, watching the sunset was my shit. You know what I'm saying? Not what women or people my age was doing, kicking it and stuff. I wasn't like that. I wasn't raised on name brand stuff, so like wearing name brand stuff, that don't move me. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not a thing that I live or die by. I'm like, oh my God, I gotta have that Gucci, I gotta have this. Like, I don't care if it looks nice, I want it. You know what I'm saying? That's it. If it looks nice and it's durable and good quality, I'm good with it. So, I learned that about myself. I like vintage type stuff. But like I said, all these things I started realizing, embracing about myself, were things that if I expressed it around family and stuff, it was kind of denied, because it was like, the majority ruled. So everybody around me were more like materialistic. They were like very extrovert and stuff like that. So when I was like talking and when I was trying to express myself, it was kind of like it made you feel like you wasn't supposed to be doing that here. And that's how I felt. So it was like I was my little puzzle piece. I'm trying to fit it in, and I just had to come to terms with the fact that I'm trying to push it into the wrong things. I need to learn how to I need to branch back out, get to know who I am, love the people in my family, but understand that we are not the same, and I don't have to be exactly like them to continue to love them. And just find where my peace is and happiness. And my peace and happiness is actually like me gravitating back over to certain family members that I got that vibe with, that we have like minds, that we have like conversations. Just imagine how antagonizing it is to be in an environment where you're like looking around trying to figure out where you can relate, where you can identify with somebody, what kind of conversation can you get into. I've been in rooms with conversations that I absolutely had no damn understanding of. I couldn't even begin to be like, But just imagine doing that every fucking day, damn near, like with people. I mean, that shit's gonna drive you crazy. You are never gonna be able to express yourself like that. That shit drove me crazy. I just couldn't do it no more. Like when you cannot relate to somebody, like a group of people, and you're constantly around them, constantly, that shit takes a toll on your mentality. So, breaking away was like just like a whole revelation. And I rubbed people the wrong way when I did it, but I wouldn't take that shit back. I would not continue to try and fit my puzzle piece on the board, on the part of the board that doesn't fit. At the end of the day, your family is the whole board. Your family, your friends, your work life, all that, that's one board. Where that puzzle piece belongs is only in one place on that board. So don't try, if you're not a fucking corner piece, quit trying to fucking squeeze your fucking piece in the corner if you're not the damn corner piece. If you're the goddamn corner piece, plant that shit in the corner and embrace it and be okay with it. Don't feel bad that you may not be able to fit in with all your family members. You can't relate to them, because at the end of the day, we're all different. We're not supposed to be alike. We're all supposed to embrace the uniqueness that we have and express ourselves. But also, we all have a responsibility to the people that we love to accept them for who they are and not make them feel like they are aliens because they don't have a lot of similarities that you have. They don't wear their hair like you. They don't dress like you. You can't, have a conversation with them, or they might want to talk about politics or other shit, and then you want to talk about Nicki Minaj. So, like, it's like, don't feel bad about wanting to embrace yourself and be yourself. And don't feel bad that you may find that a lot of the people that you've been around all your life and grew up with, them are not your people to be like trying to completely fit yourself in. That's not where your puzzle piece belongs. It's okay. You can put your puzzle piece in the right place of the board, whether it could be clear on the other side. Those people are still on the same board with you. They're supposed to accept and love you. You're supposed to accept and love yourself. Do not force your puzzle piece where it does not belong.